Hey, what's going on? It's David here with Genzio, and I'm here with
Justin Blends, what's up?
Justin. Who are you, man?
I mean, I'm a crazy DJ and researcher. I don't know what to say. Like innovator, futurist, I suppose I could say.
Yeah?
It's a pretty good place to say the word futurist. But yeah, I just like to dive in and understand where the technology is going, to be honest. A lot of people are good at history.
Nice.
And I'm decent. I never really found such a great passion for history. I think, and I realized with blockchain technologies, I said to myself, like, I realized I have potentially ideas, innovative, a different approach to things.
Okay.
And different to what, compared to what exactly. But just from what I saw from the average experience around, whether it be banking or grocery shopping, you name it, playing video games, I just sometimes have a different approach to the way I did things. And it didn't always work, but it does seem to work in the quote unquote Web3 space,
Yeah. Cool. So how's this event been for you?
It's been good. Met some interesting people. I would like to hear less about legislation and things like that. I would love to hear more, like just straight innovative talk. But at the same time, and that's not a complaint really.
Yeah.
It's just we really have to lift all the boats and let everybody in on what's happening. It's not a secret. This is open source technology, a lot of it, and I would love to just hear and see more people understand that it's not all a scam. For example.
Yeah.
Like I still hear that from people, the average person. I was at the grocery store a couple of weeks, well, maybe 2 or 3 months ago, in all honesty, and just speaking with one of the checkout agents, and they're telling me like, "Oh, that's a scam." I'm just like, "What are you talking about?
Yeah, like, come on.
How's it a scam?" It's
Yeah.
like the governments are adopting it, the Federal Reserve and all this, and you still think it's a scam? There's something wrong with the way it's being communicated,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So when did you get your foot in the door?
Whew. I mean, I feel like I've got one like toe in the door. I feel like we're so far from mass adoption, so I don't really think I'm anywhere at all. I still feel like I'm so far behind.
Yeah.
At the same time, maybe ahead of perhaps the average person, but
Yeah.
still we have a ways to go before the dust really settles. That's my opinion as well.
I agree. I mean, every week, right? It seems like just the evolution of this is just like, it's hard to keep up. Every week is just, something new.
New changes will just, right now, maybe Solana, maybe it's Ethereum, and suddenly it's Celestia, then Celestia's come and gone. Nobody's talking about Celestia now. It's something else. Yeah, but something like Bitcoin, I think, it's just not going to go away.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Or something like Casper. I think those networks I think proof of work is going to have more of a renaissance, I think.
Yeah.
And more chains are going to become proof of work. And maybe that's just me just thinking too much, but I think there's just going to be more, I think a lot more trust, and not, the word trust is funny to use, but I think a lot more interest is going to come to proof of work chains as people understand what we use the word decentralized, right? A lot.
Yeah.
But I feel like the more people actually understand why things can be decentralized is the more value something like a proof of work chain would have. As people understand that they can actually physically contribute to a network with whether it's your fridge, because I do strongly believe that your car is going to be mining Bitcoins, or your fridge is going to be mining Bitcoins, or your phone and your computer and things of that nature. And it doesn't have to be specifically Bitcoins, but I do think that's going to happen personally. I genuinely do, just because you have to incentivize people to participate in a network in some way.
Yeah.
And so I know I'm going off.
No, man, no, good. And I like to ask this question, and I think that you're going to be able to give us a really good response, but somebody that's like interested in, coming to one of these events or joining the space, and wanting to expand their knowledge on it, what would you tell them?
It's not financial advice, right?
No, I mean, yeah.
Quit your day job.
Okay.
Yeah, figure it out. There's not enough time in the day to just passively hear the information from the news or mainstream media, because it's not going to happen. It's going to be misinformation, and also you're going to be too late. You're going to buy the top, and it's not all about let's say investing for upside potential, even though a lot of it is. But a lot of our assets, whether it be your passport or maybe your diploma, it's going to be an NFT eventually. It's the deed for your house. I mean, your medical records. We're essentially on track for that. It's inevitable. So when I say quit your day job, I don't literally mean that, even though I really do think that's a good idea. If you can figure out how to sustain yourself. And I'm saying quit your day job so you can do more research.
Yeah.
Do your own research. Learn how to investigate the blockchain. Learn how to read a block explorer. Learn what smart contracts are, the risks of them, what is proof of work, the different types of consensus algorithms or mechanisms. You have to learn that because you're not going to unfortunately learn that from mainstream media for the most part. You may learn it in school, and you may also have to pay for that information. But then even that, I don't want to go off too much, but I just strongly recommend doing your own research. I don't know what else to say. We always say DYOR, and it's just easy to say do your own research, but some people just don't know where to start. So I'm saying learn about smart contracts, learn how to read a block explorer, and learn about the different types of consensus, like proof of work or proof of stake or delegated, whatever. There's so many different algorithms, DAGs and such. So those are the 2 or 3, maybe 3 or 4 things I'd say that everybody ought to do. Otherwise, you're going to kind of be told what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. And even though you have a choice, you just need to know that you have a choice, right? I think.
Yeah. Well, thank you. You want to shout anything out? Any big announcements you'd like to make?
Goodness. Well, yeah. Like, I mean, I would say jump into inscriptions for sure. Inscriptions, I think they just bring the whole digital asset space to a new level. Also consider things like tokens such as CFT20s, which are Cosmos fungible tokens, or BRC20s, things like that. And I say that because, or even runes, I think in this day it's more runes perhaps. But I say that because these are tokens that don't require smart contracts. These are tokens that anybody can deploy without any sort of backing, of financial backing. You can make your own token. It could cost you $10 or $5 or $50 to make a token. Other people can mint it. They're not buying it directly from you. And when the community has assets, and enough of a community has an asset or has shares a pool of an asset, then we create the value. So for example, if you create something, anything, physical, digital, and you give out 1,000 of them, you give them all away. And I want to sell mine. I'm the one who's creating the cost or the value of that. Well, in a sense, you're creating the value. Maybe it's based on your personal, your network or your net worth, your social media, your engagement, however you engage. But if I'm one of the 1,000 people that got that physical or digital item and I choose to sell it, I'm the one who's setting the price.
Yeah.
So it's super different from going to a place and saying this token costs 15 cents per token. There's risk to the downside immediately. But with the new token standards that have come up on Bitcoin, there are so many protocols. It's amazing that we're not talking about it more at this conference.
Yeah.
It's just like so surprising to me. They don't require any liquidity pools. There is no venture capitalist backing there, which is totally fine for those that do have that. But it just opens up the floors to us. And also it brings us closer to what Bitcoin's entire structure is. And that's not a Bitcoin maximalist comment. If everybody, which I've heard, the majority of people say it's the hardest asset, it has the lowest supply, scarcity, immutability, so many amazing adjectives to describe this blockchain, but yet we're not talking about all of the various protocols on Bitcoin and the different types of tokens that are on Bitcoin that do not require any type of liquidity pool or any funding. So like anybody, literally every single person here can create tokens, and we, the users, can then set the price and create the value.
Yeah.
And if you send me something, I'm not going to sell it for cheap. I'm just letting you know.
Okay.
Right. So I'll set the price up here, and it's just I don't know. It's a different way of thinking, I guess. But I think with things like Ethereum and of course Solana and so many other blockchains that came before and that will come, there's a lot of risk, and and it's only because of smart contracts. Whether it's the coders, the developers, or some hackers and whatever have you, there's just risk with a smart contract. Whereas, again, I'm not trying to beat a dead horse, but the idea is there are just so many new token standards now that do not require smart contracts. And I would love to hear more about that here.
Nice. Well, where can we find you?
Give me on X. Let's go on X, Justin_Blends. Look for me there. Check for Atom Monocles. I'm not going to spell it, just Atom Monocles and Atom together. I'll look for Mega Blends, I think, and check out Asteroid Protocol as well.
Thanks for talking with me.
For sure. Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you.
Hey, what's up?
But it's not something Genzio is afraid of.
If you want to survive, you got to build a house.
We do not understand that we do not
Ladies and gentlemen,
We're back at the Genzio Media House.
Oswald, thanks so much for joining us today.